Turandot Part Two, the singers, the orchestra, the chorus, the opera in general. So we here in Pittsburgh have a really terrific pickup orchestra and chorus for these productions. Each time I go, I'm always amazed that they do such a wonderful job. And we have a fabulous conductor. His name is Anthony Walker, and he is going to be debuting at the Met sometime soon. I love him in so many ways, but every now and then I disagree with him on some interpretive things. And since this is just my opinion, here goes. In this opera, there were several places where I was looking for a little more give and take in the music. And there really wasn't that, especially in Liu's first aria, Signore Ascolta, an aria I actually studied. And so I know it pretty well. And I felt that that aria was just like not made special enough. It should glisten. And then when the tenor sang Non piangere Liu, again, there wasn't that grand, dramatic feeling to it. But those are very minor points. Those are just my opinions and how I want to hear the music sound. The orchestra played beautifully, and our chorus is terrific. Although I will say that at the very beginning, the men's chorus was a little tiny bit off. But I don't want to be picky about this. In general, they were terrific. And we also had a wonderful dance troupe from Attack Theater that did fabulous little dancey things to enhance the movement on stage. Now we get to the singers. The real reason I went to see this opera was because one of my favorite former resident artists, Ngwanda Nobles, was going to be singing Liu. She has a gorgeous voice, and I think she deserves a real career, and I think she'll have one. But I was a little disappointed when she started off. I don't know whether it was first night jitters or what. She sang very, very well, but you need to do more than very, very well to be outstanding in this role. And she has a wonderful silvery quality to her voice, but it didn't come out the same way as it did later. So in the first act, it was very nice, but nothing that I would write home about. Now just to continue on with her, later in the third act, her voice seemed to come together and really have that quality that I love. It's like just silver and gold and tight and beautiful. And she was a wonderful actress as well. When she kills herself and the crowd goes, "Ah!" It was very well done. And she's terrific on stage. She's a small lady, and she moves very, very gracefully. Some of the other roles were also done by current and former Pittsburgh resident artists. Now, Ping was done by Craig Verm, a former Pittsburgh resident artist. I predicted that he would have a major career, and I'm still hoping for him. He has a beautiful baritone voice. He's also gorgeous. He also really can act. I've seen him in several productions here at Pittsburgh. He had a small role in Romeo and Juliet, was it Mercutio? And a small role in Billy Budd. I hadn't seen him since either of those productions, so several years had passed by. And you know what? His voice has grown. And he just was wonderful. Ping, Pang, and Pong were hysterical in this opera. They were dressed up in a very silly style, and they looked like a combination of the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers. And they had a lot of silly choreography to do and a lot of silly props. And in their silly props, they had to twirl around umbrellas, and one of them, I don't remember which one, couldn't open his umbrella. And that was also very funny because everybody in the audience knew he was really trying hard to get his umbrella to get up. And so not only does the Met have malfunctions, we here at Pittsburgh, we also have prop malfunctions. But in general, I used to be so bored when Ping Pang and Pong would come. Oh, please let it be over, let it be over. But as soon as super titles came around and I could see what they were talking about, I love their music. So, good job, Ping Pang and Pong. Ping, Craig Verm. Pang, James Flora, another resident artist. Young, promising, only time will tell. And Pong was Joseph Gaines. Unremarkable, but perfectly acceptable. And the three of them sang very well together, with Craig being the big standout. On the other small roles, we had the Mandarin was played by Adam Fry. He's sort of typical of what you would expect at a regional opera. Very serviceable, nothing remarkable. The Emperor, Altum, who is Turandot's father, was excellent. His name was Joseph Frank. I love tenors who sing like this, excuse me, in a very character-filled voice. But the really big winner of the evening was Timur, who was Hao Zhang Tian, or Tian. He sings at the Met. Wonderful voice. He did a terrific job as Timur, vocally, musically, and acting. Okay, now we're up to the two big singers. This is where I have to be a little more critical, although I don't want to be. First comes the tenor, Frank Peretta, portraying Calaf. This is just a personal thing. I did not care for his voice. I heard him before in Samson and didn't care for him then either. But I didn't dislike him. This time I kind of disliked him a little more because he has a way of singing that sort of goes back into his throat and he sounds like he's singing back in instead of letting it come out. But he's a very good musician and a good singer, and he got through the role with no problem. Of course, there's his great aria Nessun Dorma, which we all know. And he was able to hold the penultimate note very long, very well. But that doesn't make for a great aria. He just doesn't have the beauty of voice. Maybe it'll come. Maybe this is a timing thing. I don't know. But he certainly sang all the notes, sang them well, didn't crack. He sang in a consistent way. So I think he was okay. Our Turandot was Suzanne Neves, Neves. I heard her here do Tosca several years ago. I thought she had a terrific voice, but I don't remember too much else, except that I thought it was a very good voice and very well suited for Tosca. So whose voice is suited for Turandot? I don't know. Not hers. Because she could not carry through on the big lines. I don't know who can. I mean, it's like impossible. And when she started out in Questa Regia, I was like scared because she was going through so many different voices. I thought, where is this going to end? But finally she pulled it together and she was okay. She had trouble sustaining the big long lines in a good volume. That was the biggest problem. However, when she didn't have to sing in that very, very, very high tessitura and all those high notes, she was fine. And she actually has, in my opinion, a beautiful voice. And it should be wonderful in other roles, maybe just not Turandot. But I guess if I were a soprano who was offered to sing that role, I might take it too. I also heard that she was a little under the weather, so maybe I should be kinder. So there you have it, my review of Turandot. All in all, production, fantastic. Secondary singing, from fantastic to what you would expect. The two lead roles, little disappointing, but I wasn't prepared to be wowed either. It would have been a wonderful surprise to be wowed. So that's it for Turandot. You will hear me next when I come back from New York after seeing Die Walküre live at the Met on the Saturday, for the Saturday broadcast. You know how I say this opera is my favorite and that opera is my favorite? Well, Die Walküre is just about my favorite opera. I've actually sung in it. I was Ortlinda 100 years ago with the Boston Lyric Opera. Hope to see you then.